Good afternoon and congratulations to the winners. I speak Spanish, but the English is my native language, so I'm going to keep.
And this is a weird, emotional moment, right? I have the unenviable task of following the winners' announcements and standing between them, the rest of you, and celebratory cocktails, all on a day where Peru's democracy is facing an escalating crisis. So amid all of these emotions, at the risk of getting personal, I feel climate grief every single day. And whether it's flooding, drought, hurricanes and cyclones, blizzards, or in my hometown, as in many other places, wildfires, the way we make our living, the places where we find peace and connection, where we make our homes, and where our ancestors before us made their homes, are under threat. And when I reflect on so many of our approaches to trying to balance the immense income-generating potential that mining represents for millions of people who just want economic security and dignity for their families, with the immense biodiversity, ancestral homeland, and vital oxygen that Amazonia provides, the problem feels so big and so complex, it's easy to doubt our own power to make change. And part of what feels so vital to me about the Artisanal Mining Grand Challenge in Amazonia is that, unlike other efforts, it recognizes and it taps into our power. When we think about the current efforts to encourage sustainable mining, they represent a fundamentally pessimistic and punitive top-down approach. Most of the efforts to date have been on enforcement and permitting, and they're all about authorities trying to control human behavior. I'm not great at authority. So what I love about this Grand Challenge, what gives me hope amid our climate grief, is that this is fundamentally optimistic. Instead of trying to control human behavior, we're trying to unleash human potential to come up with innovations that then become rigorously tested and refined by data and user feedback that are bottom up and tap into our potential to use markets, to use incentives, and as we see here, to use relationships to do better by the Amazon and the communities that depend on it. This challenge represents an alternative from the current sustainable mining approach of government control to citizen and consumer agency. It restores our power. And when we look towards the next steps that emanate from this Grand Challenge, investing in the innovators, expanding their opportunities to refine, to test, and to deploy their innovations, building on all the side conversations, and I know you had them, about new research, new funding models, new investments, and new projects, even new enforcement regimes, I trust it's easier to come at these conversations from that foundation of optimism that the last 2 days of this exchange have given us. That's part of why USAID spearheads this and other grand challenges. At USAID, open innovation competitions aren't just about sourcing path-breaking innovations, although as you can see, they're really important, but they're also about using innovation as an entry point to bring together innovators, peers, and partners to have new or different conversations and broker fresh collaborations to address a problem that can feel too big when we act alone. And that's why we were glad to partner with Microsoft, with ESRI, with the Gordon and Betty Moore Foundation, and most especially with Conservation X Labs to be able to act on this moment. And so now is the moment, especially when USAID sponsorship of this Grand Challenge is concluding, that we're calling on you to draw on the evidence, the trust, the shared value, and the optimism of this moment to take the small steps that Alex and Matthew encouraged us to take this afternoon, and to continue to build on this work. So I hope that you will remain mentors, collaborators, thought partners, customers, and investors for the Grand Challenge's innovators. Yesterday, Janice Maciel proclaimed, "We are at a moment of convergence." And in this moment, we can formalize that overlap into collective action. I want to thank you for your time over the course of this Grand Challenge, and especially these past 2 days. And I want to thank you for your partnership in the future. Thank you again, and now to share even more thank yous, I invite Alex and Paul back to the stage for closing words.